I raised the wrong daughter for 10 years, and the real one came back, broken, blind, and begging me to believe her. 10 years ago, my daughter scored 717 on the National College Entrance Exam and became the top scorer in the country. After that, everything went her way. Professor at a prestigious university by 27, married to the Ashford heir, her first love. A beautiful life. She got pregnant, and I went to St. Mercy Monastery to pray for blessings. A girl found me outside the gates, mute, blind, dragging one leg. She shoved a piece of paper into my hands, frantic. It read, "Mom, someone took my place. I'm your real daughter, Emma Sullivan." I was the top scorer on the National College Entrance Exam. I held that piece of paper tight, convinced it was some kind of prank. By the time I turned around, she was gone. I couldn't shake it the whole way home. The moment I walked through the door, my daughter's voice met me, bright and laughing. "Mom, I just bought durian. Come try some. I've been craving it ever since I got pregnant. Picked it up fresh from the market." Durian. The word stopped me cold. Before the exam, Emma couldn't stand durian. Even a whiff of it made her gag. But after the exam, somehow, she could eat it. I'd never thought much of it at the time. I'd asked a doctor once, and he said taste changes were perfectly normal. But now I kept thinking about that note someone had pressed into my hands outside the monastery. A chill ran straight through me. Could it be true? Could my daughter really have been switched? How? How is that even possible? 10 full years had passed since the exam. Who could have swapped my own child right under my nose and left me none the wiser? She must have noticed me staring, because she came over, worry creasing her face. "Mom, you look awful. Did the trip to St. Mercy Monastery wear you out?" I looked at her face. The longer I looked, the less I recognized. Something in her bearing, deep down, was nothing like the child I'd raised for 18 years. "I'm fine. Got a bit of wind on the road." I waved it off, slipping the note into the deepest fold of my pocket. She pulled me to the sofa and cracked the durian open. The sharp, pungent smell flooded the room instantly. She held out a piece, eyes eager. "Mom, here, try some. It's really sweet." I stared at the pale flesh in her hand, and my stomach turned. My daughter used to retch at the smell alone, but this woman was eating it bite by bite, savoring every mouthful, and the weight on my chest grew so heavy I could barely breathe. I tested her. "Emma, do you remember what we ate the night before the exam?" Her hand paused mid-bite. Then she smiled. "Of course. Just simple home cooking, right? Something light so it wouldn't mess with my test." Something went cold behind my eyes. Wrong. The night before the exam, my daughter had been too nervous to sleep. I made her a bowl of brown sugar glutinous rice balls. Her favorite. The one time I let her break the no sweets rule. The woman in front of me had no idea. I kept my face still and pressed on. "What about when you were little? What bug were you most scared of?" She answered without thinking. "Cockroaches. Everyone's scared of cockroaches." My heart sank all the way to the floor. My daughter had only ever been afraid of caterpillars. She'd never flinched at a cockroach in her life. She'd stomp them with her bare foot and not think twice. Every answer was wrong. Not a single one was right. On the surface I held it together, but inside I was coming apart, and I couldn't stop staring at the woman sitting across from me. My eyes went red. The silence stretched until I couldn't hold it anymore. When I finally spoke, my voice came out scraped raw. "You're not my daughter, are you?" The air went dead. She looked up at me. Something cold flickered at the corner of her eyes, there and gone, and then it was confusion and meekness again. "Mom, what are you even saying? If I'm not your daughter, then who is?" I clenched my fists and stared at her without blinking. "Impossible. You're not my daughter. None of it lines up. Not a single memory." Emma paused. Then she set the durian down and laughed. "The night before the exam, you made me sweet rice balls in brown sugar syrup. Your own hands. And what I'm scared of is caterpillars, not cockroaches. Cockroaches are your thing. You shriek every time you see one, and I'm the one who charges over and smashes it with a shoe. Isn't that right, Mom?" She caught my stunned expression. Her smile stretched wider. "I was messing with you. Look at your face. All right. You're getting on in years. I won't pull that kind of joke again." I stood there, numb, watching Emma scoop up the kitten and carry it off to be fed. Something in my chest unclenched, but it didn't settle all the way down. Had I really been overthinking this? That evening, Emma turned to her father with a laugh just pointed enough to cut. "Dad, you'll love this. Mom bumped into some blind girl on the street today and actually decided I must be a fake. Her own daughter. An imposter. Isn't that hilarious?" My husband Eustace blinked, then turned to me with a sigh. "Stop letting your mind run wild. She just got pregnant. She needs rest. Don't say things like that and upset her. We raised this girl with our own hands. How could we possibly be wrong?" I nodded. Maybe I've been reading too many novels lately. I was overthinking it, and that was the end of it. But the unease wouldn't leave. It sat in my bones. More than once, I caught myself already on the road to St. Mercy Monastery before I'd even decided to go, hoping to run into that blind girl again, just like the last time. But I wasn't so lucky. I sat there from sunrise until the last light bled out of the sky. She never appeared. Then one day, while I was out shopping, I saw her again. She was just as agitated as before, limping toward me, making desperate sounds that weren't quite words. When she saw the confusion on my face, she pulled out a pen and a scrap of paper and started writing. I leaned closer, and the breath locked in my throat. She had written, "Mom, please believe me. I really am your daughter, Emma Sullivan. If you don't believe me, look." Below those 2 lines, she wrote several more. The blood drained from my face. My vision blurred red at the edges. "Who are you?" These lines are from my daughter's essay on the National College Entrance Exam. From 10 years ago. How could you possibly know what she wrote? My hands were shaking as I gripped the paper. The blind girl nodded frantically, and 2 streaks of blood slid from her sightless eyes. My heart seized. Could this girl really be my daughter? Even the handwriting was identical. I stumbled home barely able to keep my footing, and before I could even push the door open, my legs gave out. "Mom?" Emma opened the door and stared down at me. "What are you doing sitting on the ground? The floor's freezing. Come inside." I looked up at her unbothered face, and only one thought remained. The handwriting. I had to see her handwriting. I took out a sheet of paper and a pen and held them out to her. "Emma, the essay you wrote for the National College Entrance Exam. Write it again. Word for word." Exactly. The color drained from her face. She stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Mom, what's gotten into you? Out of nowhere, you want me to rewrite my exam essay? I'm a university professor now. You want me to sit here writing something that childish? People would laugh me out of the room. Her fingers curled tight, but she didn't pick up the pen. I let the smile come, cold and thin.